What's up, rock stars? It's your buddy DA with the GA. Welcome to another episode of GearAlchemy. Today, we are going to start a new project. We are going to disassemble, sand, and paint this guitar. So this is my guitar, Patrick. I've had him for a long time. It started its life as a Fender Deluxe Roadhouse Strat. So we're going to start, what I'm going to do today is just disassemble the guitar. We're going to take it all apart. I'm going to show you guys how to sand down a body, make sure it's flat, all that good stuff. And then we're going to repaint it and reassemble maybe-ish. It will be reassembled, but I don't know if I'm going to keep everything the same. I have been contemplating on swapping out this pick guard and these pickups. These will stay. Everything else will stay. It'll just be basically a pickup swap of some type. Possibly. Like I said, I haven't decided. Color we're going to paint the guitar. I'm unsure. I don't know. This was a MIM or is a MIM after all. I don't know what I'm going to encounter once I get all the way down to bare wood. I might have a very nice, pretty grain pattern, in which case we may do something transparent. I might have, several pieces of wood that are obviously glued together and don't go together, in which case, yeah, she's going to stay solid. So we'll see what happens when we get down that far. But in any case, I hope you guys will continue on with me on this journey, and I'll see you over on the workbench. All right, welcome to the workstation. The first thing we're going to do is take these strings off, but I am going to see, because I'm curious if I can do this. I've got another video planned for something different, and I want to see if it's possible, since I have locking tuners. I want to see if I can loosen these strings up enough to be able to get the pick guard off, out from underneath, without taking the strings off. So, if you guys don't mind, stand by, take these screws out, and then we'll be right back. If this is your first time doing this kind of thing, yeah, sorry, still taking screws out. I just thought of something. Keep in mind, you only want to take your perimeter screws out. There's either going to be 11 or 13, depending on what kind of Stratocaster you have. These control the height of the pickups. This is actually what attaches your switch to your pick guard. So you don't want to take these two out. You don't want to take these 6 out. But this one and all the rest of the ones around the perimeter, you want to take out. Also, leave these. That's what attaches your bridge. Not good. Don't take that off. All right. Okay. Screws are out. I'm going to loosen these guys as loose as I can get it, basically. Now let's see what happens. Oh, I think we're going to be okay. Well, maybe. Unless the wires underneath hang them up too. That could be a possibility. I think it's going to be the height itself, just of everything underneath. Yeah, that's not going to happen. All right, thing's got to come off. All right. Now we are ready to take a look-see under here. I can't believe that wouldn't just come up. All right, so typical. So yeah, I think it was the ground wire, I think, that was stopping it. So I obviously did a lot of shielding on this. This is set up to be a single humbucker. Pretty typical. This is what you see out of MIMs, because and even MIAs, to be honest with you, because they can't, it doesn't make sense for them to do, like, I don't know, 300 that are just straight single coils, and then, another 300 with a humbucker, and then another 300 with another humbucker. It just doesn't make sense. So since majority of their stuff is either single, or single hum, they set up most of them to be able to accommodate one of those two. Now, what we are going to do next is we are going to take this guy out. I don't think, if I remember right. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to have to take that off. So I can either desolder this here, or I can desolder it at the jack itself. I will probably desolder at the jack itself because it's a lot easier to do that than it is to try and, yeah, anyway. All right. We're going to go ahead and take that off. Perseverance. Perseverance is key. All right. That's off. Now we're going to take these two screws out. Now, if your wires are long enough and you know they are, I don't know if this is or not. So what I could have done, matter of fact, I'm betting that they probably won't be. But what you could do is just take these screws out first, pull the jack up, and then see if you have enough lead to be able to pull the jack up enough to be able to unsolder the wires. All right. Yeah, so see, the hole in here is too small. Otherwise, what I'd like to have done, if the hole in here was big enough, matter of fact, we may do that. While we have all this apart, I may make this hole larger. What I would rather have done is to be able to unscrew the jack here and pull the pick guard and the jack out this hole and pull and keep it all together. That would have been the preferred way. But alas, it did not work out that way, and that's fine. It happens. All right. Keep all of our parts together, and then when we go to box this up to make sure things don't get misplaced, because misplaced is bad. We will make sure all this stuff gets bagged together. All right, so in the meantime, I guess I'll tell you guys a little bit about this. So the pickups that are in here are they're from a guy named Brian Guncher out of, it's either Northern California or Southern Oregon. I forgot which one. But these are his V60 models. They sound absolutely superb. I mean, they're great 60s, late 60s sounding pickups, which are darker than your like 50s sounding pickups. They've been great. They sound great, but I've had them for so long. My God, 20 years? No, that can't be right. Almost 20 years. I think I bought these in like 2010 or something like that. So it's 16 years. But yeah, they've been fantastic pickups. But just, I kind of in the mood for something new. So there's nothing wrong with them. They're still great. I'm definitely not selling them or throwing them away. I'll probably put them off to the side and maybe revisit them on a different guitar or something else later on. Or I may buy something else, put it in and go, yep, this sucks, and put the Gunchers back in. I don't know. Then I have a no load tone control, just operating the bridge pickup. And then the neck and middle are operated by a TBX. And then, of course, volume pot's just a regular volume pot. 5-way switch is a regular 5-way switch. So yeah, that's the rundown. Other than I have Braftech saddles on here. I have locking tuners up here, as I already mentioned, which also means that's why there's no string tree here. And I got to be honest, I am not excited in the slightest to do all of this again. I forgot that I had done all, to be honest with you. Ow. Yep, there we go. A little solder jump up and bite me. Okay. So there's that. And now There's those. I am going to have to desolder this. Nope, this guy here. Oh, hang on. I think I might actually, would rather. Yeah. That's got to come out anyway, so I'm going to desolder it here on the cloth. Okay. And then this should just pull free here. And then we got to take that guy off there. Should have done that beforehand. Boom. Pick guards off. All right. Those are long screws. All right. Now, the only thing holding this on is going to be back here. Boom. Our bridge is out. All right. Okay, we got to take this guy off. You know, this is one of the reasons actually that I am not one of those proponents of really expensive guitars, because the last thing I want to do is disassemble and sand and paint an Ultra Strat. I mean, you know, you paid a lot of money for that. It's already expensive. So why in the world would I want to take it apart and paint it and swap pickups in it and everything else? So each their own if you want to swap pickups, but my view on it is, actually, I'll tell you. So I have a custom shop Stratocaster. When I played this guitar back in, oh God, 20, 2012, 2012, and you'll meet, it's called CC for Custom Classic. When I played CC in a Guitar Center and I found out it was a custom shop Strat, it's beautiful guitar. And I was like, oh my God, I have to buy it, because it was only like $2,000, it's like $2,100, which is crazy for a custom shop. And I debated on whether I was going to buy it or not, because I didn't like the pickups. I didn't like the way they sounded. Just playing through a straight deluxe reverb, they were way too bright. And I remember the salesman who was helping me. He's like, "Well, if you don't like the pickups, just swap them out." Like, no, like I'm not paying $2,100 for a guitar if I have to swap the pickups out. Why in the hell would I do that? So that's always kind of been my mentality. Like, I'll swap pickups out of cheap guitars all day long. But I've always kind of drawn the line at like, why am I buying a $1,500 or $2,000 guitar if my first thought is I don't like the pickups? Now, if you end up not liking them over time or whatever, then that's a different story. But all right, we're going to take the strap buttons out. I don't think I could do this in a way you guys can see it. Or maybe that. All right. This thing is getting real light. That ain't good. Oh, okay. The head just couldn't get far enough down in there. Sorry, as you guys can see. All right. And now we're going to take the tuners off. Actually, I think I do have a wrench that'll fit this. Not that one. There we go. Oh, this is a 10 millimeter, in case you guys are curious. Now, anything that you can, and this is for anything you do, right? That is, rather, by anything, I mean like dealing with cars, working on something in the house, anything that you can put back together, where you could put a nut back on to keep stuff together. That is the direction you want to take, 100%. So in this case, I'm putting the washer back in and I'm putting the nut back on. That way, all the stuff stays together that's supposed to be together. There's very little with this, unfortunately, where they can do that with. Let's go back actually a step. When I took the pick guard out, typically your pick guard screws and your jack screws are going to be a similar screw. But just make sure you take note of that. And if they're not, you want to bag them up separately. So in this case, these were the two screws for that's why I put them right beside. So I literally compared it as I set it down. If one of these was longer, then I would have set it, over here or something like that with the jack plate. And that way they didn't get confused. And boom. Only thing we got left, take the neck off. Now we go to put this back on. I am not going to use the drill. Do not do that. Because if you happen to screw up, you toast your neck. Now, as you go to take this off, if this is your first time, I don't care if it's an MIA or MIM, hold the neck on and take your screws out. I'll show you why here in a moment. I promise it's worth it. So sometimes at the factory, they cut just a wee bit too far, and so they have to shim the neck. So we want to carefully pull this off. Okay, so see, we don't have any shims. So yeah, so here you have it. There's the neck, and then there's the body. So now the next thing would be, like I said, the next thing is going to be to take all this copper stuff off, but then we're going to sand the body down. You can tell the sun's gotten to it. If you can, hopefully you can see that. Because that's where the jack plate was. Or not the jack plate, sorry, the neck plate, as I was. And then I haven't had a cover on here and I don't know how long here. So yeah, this got worn in too. So I mean, this is actually, I forgot what color this was in the factory, but obviously, you know, it does get some vintage hue to it. Turns kind of a yellowish white, which is pretty cool. If you do have this stuff, it is actually metal tape, so be careful if you're pulling it off. Hopefully it'll all come in one or two strips for me. It does not. It works pretty good, I would say. I think it works better than the paint, if I'm being honest. All right, so yeah, next video this will be without all the copper stuff, and then I'll show you guys how to sand this down. And we're probably not going to get sanding in here. I'm not sure yet, because to be honest, it's kind of a pain. If you really want to do it, I mean, by all means, get you a Dremel. You know, take your time, get in there, and take it out. To me, it's not really worth it. So anyway, okay. I will catch you guys on the next video.